You are listening to the Fab Female Nutrition Podcast, episode number 169. Hey there, I'm your host Wendy Hill, and I'm a nutritional therapist and expert in female hormone health. I specialise in helping women gain confidence and understanding their bodies, allowing them to shine. This podcast allows me to share the knowledge I've built up, along with bringing you guest experts to support you in your journey. So Sam, welcome to the podcast. I'm really excited about talking to you today. Just for the listeners, could you just introduce yourself and just let us know how you got to be doing what you're doing today now?
Okay, so I'm Sam Evans. I'm the co-founder of online sex toy retailer Joe Divine with my husband Paul. We set it up in 2007. I'm a former nurse and he's worked in IT. He's the sort of brains behind it. I just do all the talking and the writing. And yeah, let's set up a sex toy company. Why not?
As you do.
As you do. But basically, we both really, really like sex. My body hasn't always liked it, and I will talk about that a bit. We looked around and realised that actually there weren't any sex toy companies that were selling really good products. And at that time, there were really good products coming to market, sort of high-end luxury products, really well made, skin-safe materials. And also, I think a couple of years before, a really good lubricant brand had come to market called Yes Organic Lubricants.
Yeah.
So basically, we made it our mission then only to sell skin-safe products and irritant-free sexual lubricants. And we've stuck to that 15 years later.
I have to say, when I talk to clients, and I deal often with perimenopausal and menopausal women, and so kind of vaginal lubrication is something that I do talk to them about because it's not a conversation we have. And immediately when you open up that conversation, so for me, it was an issue and I didn't really know what it was. And I have to say that, like, I'd have sex and then afterwards I'd be quite sore. So it was a little bit sore while I was having it, but then it was almost like the post trauma that I couldn't have sex again for like a few days because it was really uncomfortable. And until I used the Yes lubricant as well, and until I started using that, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So read some blogs and thought, okay, this might be me. Try it. Wow, what a difference. And then talking to other women and just opening that conversation up and saying, actually, is this something that affects you? Because they invariably won't put it on a form. I do have questions that kind of lead them into that on my intake forms, but invariably they won't. But the minute you talk about it, it's a non-conversation almost. It is a conversation you have, but it doesn't have to be a big topic once you kind of talk about it. But I'm interested to find out a little bit more, if you don't mind being a little bit personal, about kind of your health, sort of sexual health in your 20s and 30s, because again, this is something we don't talk about. I've had lots of clients who've had issues, post-birth, that they've had kind of trauma for birth, and then again they're not talking about it, and so they don't get over it until many, many years later. So could you just share for the listeners maybe a little bit what happened to you?
Yeah, so basically I met Paul when I was 23 and we started using the well-known lubricants that are still widely available, KY and Durex. And I kept getting recurrent infections after sex. Yeah. So I'd get cystitis, I'd get thrush, I'd often get bacterial vaginosis, the fishy smelling discharge you need antibiotics for, and I would get UTIs. I was actually a renal nurse at the time, so I was really scared I was going to go into renal failure. And it was so frustrating because that then led to vaginismus, which is whereby the pelvic floor muscles tighten involuntarily. It makes penetration feel very painful or not possible. I had never heard of this. I finally got a diagnosis at 30, but I didn't really get any advice. Yes. So I basically, one consultant gynecologist, I know hospital is no longer my gynecologist, told me to iron the gusset of my knickers to kill the thrush bugs. You have to remember at this time as well, you had to go to your GP to get Canesten. It wasn't available over the counter. Right. So nobody sort of joined the dots. Why is she coming back? Why is she constantly needing antibiotics for UTIs? Why is she getting thrush? Nobody asked me about my sex life. Nobody asked me, was I using lube? Was I washing myself? God knows, with dreadful washes, and there weren't that many available as there are now. Check the ingredients of products that you're using, like you check food, or you even check the ingredients in food and the ingredients on your skincare range. Think about what you're putting inside your vagina.
Let's talk about female empowerment, because I know you've got a little bit of a bugbear about that, because it is bandied around as a positive thing. Tell us why you kind of, it's not your bag, is it?
Well, I feel like the phrase female empowerment has been hijacked by lazy journalists because it's used to advertise anything at us. It's always women. We never empower men, do we? And my view is female empowerment, let's use it to talk about female genital mutilation, banning child marriages. Let's talk about cutting maternal deaths. Let's talk about, ensuring everybody has access to female and to reproductive rights, because obviously the world is changing an awful lot, and it's quite scary.
Oh goodness.
And actually, and domestic violence and violence against women. Let's use that word correctly, because it's not empowering to use our lube. It'll make your sex life feel amazing, but I don't think there's anything. And I just feel like it's a bit of a non-word. It's been hijacked, and for me, there are real issues that impact upon women across the world, and let's use it in that way.
It's a bit like feminism. I kind of don't like the word. Someone go, "Oh, you're a feminist, aren't you?" I'm like, no, I'm not actually. I'm not. It's like, I grew up in a very male industry. I was in the building trade for till I was 45. So I can't, a bit different to this. And I'm like very kind of, no, actually, I'm not. I am equal. I don't need to be a feminist. But actually, there are some deep rooted issues that we need to talk about. Like you said, kind of child marriages and female genitalia mutilation. And so that is stuff that we need to talk about. That's not feminism. That's actually a real issue that we need to tackle, and then don't give it an umbrella that's a bit woolly and a bit kind of like, you can throw it back at me. So I'm with you on that. And yes, having great lubrication and sex toys is going to be great for you and for your personal well-being. But actually, it's not empowerment, is it? That's a totally different thing. And it's a scary world at the moment. I feel like we're going backwards, not forwards.
Oh, completely as well. I just find it's every time you sort of think it can't get any worse, you go, oh yeah, actually it can. Which is good. We've got, women and men speaking up. I've got a daughter and 2 sons. My daughter's a young sex education activist. She's huge on TikTok, and she's written a sex ed guide for young people. But it's aimed at everybody because it's completely inclusive. And but my boys know all about this stuff as well, and it's like, because this is really important. We have to educate everybody. When we talk about menopause, I always say, well, it doesn't just impact on the person going through it. It impacts on partners, kids, family, work, friends.
Exactly.
And that's why educating people about gynae health, but men's health. It's Prostate Cancer Awareness Month this month, and men's mental health awareness. And this is why it's not just a woman's issue, it's not just a men's issue. So, being able to phone up and ask for advice, and but obviously we get a lot more people ordering online now, and even a lot of our older customers as well. But we're probably one of the few sex toy companies that actually has a catalogue that we pop in with every order. So and obviously the health brochure is sort of just sent off a box this morning to a breast surgeon, so that's great. So he's going to be giving those out to his patients, which is brilliant. He's got lubes to show them and a sex toy, so it's great. He's decided he wants to open up that conversation. So very much so. But for me, it's normalizing sex, because sex is, you said mental health, but your physical well-being, because it boosts your immunity, it can keep you looking young. Saving that £100 pot of moisturizer that you're using. And also it can help, we all know masturbating and orgasm can help with period pain, but also, if men are having regular ejaculations, it can actually reduce their risk of prostate cancer, because they're flushing out the prostate, and it prevents it enlarging, because obviously that's a big problem as they get older. And it just makes you feel happier when your sex life is good, and it also keeps your vagina and your vulva happy and healthy. The lubrication, it keeps everything happy and healthy. Using the vibration promotes the blood flow to those tissues. The sensation, they can help. A simple bullet vibrator can help you achieve orgasm. The sonic wave toys that have come to market that I showed on the Davina McCall program last year, they've been massive. They've really changed the way in which people are enjoying more orgasms and stronger orgasms. And so it's really, really important that if people want to carry on enjoying pleasurable sex, then they should be able to. So just to make sure that they've got good lube, simple toy, using vaginal moisturizer, maybe local estrogen, and washing with water. It's not rocket science.
What a wonderful positive note to end on. Thank you so much.
Okay, many thanks.
Thank you for watching this excerpt of this week's Fab Female Nutrition podcast. If you'd like to listen to the full episode, then the link is in the notes below.